as usual, it gives me great pleasure to talk about the story of ICIFA, because as we know, anytime we read history, we are also writing history, and I think ICIFA has written its own good history, which is actually contributed by quite a number of people, and I'm glad that you are noting that I'm one of the contributors of this good story that people are reading as we write the origin and the growth of ICIFA. Now, just to give you a little bit of a background, the idea of choosing to be a financial analyst began way back when I was a university lecturer, commonly known as Don. I was then a lecturer at Catholic University in around 1999-98, and of course we met as a group of lecturers and said that we needed to start a specialization in Bachelor of Commerce where students could graduate with BCom with specialization in finance. Then the common specialization was BCom Marketing, BCom Accounting, but then we felt that there is need in the market to have a specialization of BCom Finance. And out of that challenge, the students and us as members of faculty felt that these graduates will not have a professional line to follow. So we started by saying we need to come up with a professional body that can be able to onboard the graduates just like their counterparts in accounting specialization, so that at least they can also be part of the body. So when we looked around, we said we need to, first of all, as lecturers, undertake the examinations. So we encourage ourselves and enrolled to the then AFA examinations, East Africa, AFA, Eastern Africa, which is the original name of ICIFA that we are now dealing with. So we did the AFA examinations. That is quite a number of us. I think we are around 30 then, or 20 something. And one person that comes out strongly in my mind is Peter Gigi, because he was my colleague at the university, and we sat through the examinations. And luckily, upon completion, I think in 2001, we are the first two graduates to have gotten the qualifications of that course of the ICIFA now. Wow. So we became the first two graduates of this qualification, which was a very, very encouraging thing. Yeah. It actually brought my profile to a better place, because whenever I could meet my colleagues, you could say, yes, we have the right to run finance because we are qualified, but not only because of the degree graduates that we've pursued, but also professionally. So out of that now, we were even able to get recognized by the examination body, that is CASNEP. They started inviting myself and Ngigi to participate in the process of moderating and developing examinations for this course. And that's how the journey began. It was a very humble beginning. And of course, we didn't know that one day it will be a big institute as it is. But now all the students specializing in finance and investment as a home in form of ICIFA to be able to have their professional journey. So it all began from that time. I mean, immediately after that, of course, I think I was given an opportunity to be the deputy head of department. I guess because I was a professionally qualified person then at the university. And of course, I started participating in examinations in CASNEP, in finance and investment related courses. So you see how it shaped my life when I moved from just being a graduate with a degree and a master's degree. This came as a very, very added advantage. I am currently the director of Morendat Institute of Oil and Gas, which is basically a position of a general manager at Kenya Pipeline. Really top leadership management of Kenya Pipeline in terms of running the school. And I can attribute, not remotely, but directly, this growth to this position to being, one, a member of ICIFA and having done the qualifications. Let me give you the idea here. While I kept on, as I practiced my role as a lecturer at the university, doing research and consulting, I landed on a consulting opportunity at Kenya Pipeline, which they were establishing then a business development. So when I provided my CV and I say that I'm a qualified financial and investment analyst, they paused a little bit and said, these are the type of person we are looking for. So immediately out of that qualification, I was brought into Kenya Pipeline to be an analyst within their business development. Soon thereafter, the company was looking for somebody qualified in investment and finance to head their pension scheme, which is a big pension scheme, having a very big portfolio of assets. Then I was taken in to be the trust secretary and the CEO of the pension scheme, where I could now interact with matters of investment and finance, and dealing with fund managers, custodians, and all the stakeholders in the retirement benefits industry. So you can see the linkage between my academic background, my professional qualifications, and how it came to work in towards shaping my profession towards that. So I spent quite a number of years in the finance and in managing pension scheme of Kenya Pipeline, established a second one, and grew the portfolio. I think by the time I was leaving, we had an asset portfolio of around 12 billion Kenya shillings. And then around 2016, there was an opportunity where the company was, of course, starting some other departments, and they needed somebody who could be able to run a school. Given my good experience, of course, as having been a lecturer at the university, my management skills, having run the finance and investment sector of pension schemes, it came in very handy to be able to take me to the position where I am at the moment, to be the director of Morendat Institute of Oil and Gas. And I cannot underrate the role played by my professional training in finance and investment. So to the people who are developing a career, one, it's not enough to just have academic qualifications. You always need to have a professional qualifications. And if you think you are in an area of financial services sector, capital market sector, ICIFA is an inevitable choice that you really have to follow to be able to shape your destiny. I think the story of ICIFA may not be complete without mentioning the fact that with the recognition of ICIFA by the Act of Parliament is a very fundamental thing. The IFA Act of 2015 is basically a turning ground. And I participated passionately together with a team of people to make sure that we got the support of parliamentarians, the support of government to make sure that we had an act. And of course, we served ICIFA then on a very voluntary basis to make sure that we established this. And of course, for those who are developing a career, you will not be saying you are just joining a body that you don't know where it begins with. It's actually having an act of parliament. And of course, it's a regulatory body which will be able to regulate the professions in the industry to be very good. And of course, that is how we came into it. And in 2015, it became a turning point when we had the ICIFA Act being enacted in Parliament. Now, and of course, it has seen the enrollment of the students, as you have seen. And again, out of that, I started with the Institute being, of course, a member. At some point, I was the treasurer, secretary in the committee, vice chairman, and eventually the chairman of the Institute. So do not underrate the humble beginnings of anything, including how ICIFA began small and where it has reached at the moment. Yeah, it's good to mention that the job that we deal with can be very, very demanding. So that many a times you are awake at 5 a.m., you stretch sometimes to very late in the evenings. And it reached a point where I made a deliberate effort. I don't know whether it was an hobby or a deliberate effort to look for something that could keep me away from the computer analysis, managing and dealing with people. And I chose to start playing golf. So now I can say competently that I'm a golfer. So I do play golf occasionally once in a week, sometimes twice in a week, and at least it gives me an opportunity to reflect for a period of around 2 hours in the golf course or 4 hours in the golf course, and it gives me a lot of it. The other thing that I do is that I like reading some history of places, biographies, so I spend a lot of time trying to get how people who have shaped the world, people like Colin Powell, how did he come up to being a soldier and contributing to management, side like things. So I spent some time doing that, and of course, I have a passion staying with young ones. So occasionally over the weekend, because basically my children are fairly, I think some of the younger one is in teenagehood. So I call friends who have young children to bring to me so that I can sit with them, and it gives me a lot of gratification to just sit and enjoy and see them growing and molding them, advising them, and that's all about my life basically.